Hello YouTube, this is Darkon633, and today I'm bringing a review of the Transformers Robots in Disguise 2015 Warrior Class Bumblebee. Now, we're starting with 2015 with obviously the brand new cartoon series, and while I did review two figures previously back in 2014 just before the year ended, this will be actually my first review of 2015 so far. Now, I gotta say that all the figures in the Robots in Disguise line released so far, especially in the Warrior class, Bumblebee has to be the most impressive out of the first wave of figures released so far. I really like the design, the fact that it's got a really big, it seems to be based on a ton of Bumblebees in the past. I mean, it's partially movie-like, as the usual Bumblebee beginning. It's also part Prime-like, obviously, since it's supposed to be a continuation of Prime. It even reminds me a bit of a Viacon, especially when you look at the legs and so on, and the way that it transforms and so on. But I still think it's a really impressive figure overall, and out of all the Bumblebees we got in the last few years, I think he's actually one of the better ones altogether. But anyways, we'll take a quick look at the box as usual. I still continue and comment that the box size, I really enjoy that it's a little bit smaller. It takes up a lot less space on the shelf. It takes a lot of space if you want to keep it on card as well. And I really enjoy that Hasbro decided to put it in a more, I guess, colorful box. Since we pretty much just got a bunch of reds, boxes, and so on, and a lot of the darker color boxes in the last few years, especially for Generations and all that, so definitely this pops out more than any of the other toy lines we had in quite some time. We'll take a quick look at the side here. It shows Bumblebee on the back as well. And then obviously, since they decided to go ahead once again and just keep the instructions printed on the card, so obviously we'd have to keep this if you wanted for future reference. Shows that it transforms in 7 steps, and he turns to this very movie-like Bumblebee style, and so on. But anyways, we'll take a quick look at Bumblebee itself. The only weapon that he includes is this really nice Star Saber-like weapon. I don't know exactly what the name of this weapon is currently. It's just his sword, but it does definitely look like have a lot of design cues of the Star Saber from Prime and so on. So it's a really nice design. And another cool part though, before we go into the transformation, is that he can actually dual wield this. So if you wanted to, just like Prime from Age of Extinction and so on, you can give him this pose, or the sword, and kind of bend down, and he has the sword stance pose. So that's a really nice ability to be able to do so in the toy. But anyways, we'll take the sword out of his hands with, it didn't get stuck inside there. Sometimes it does get a bit stuck because it's actually quite tight when you put it in his hands. But we'll take the sword off to the side now and take a quick look at Bumblebee itself. Now Bumblebee obviously sports the whole Autobot emblem right here in the middle of his chest, which is used obviously onto the scanner, which now is available. It's a pretty good app, except I just wish the Android version didn't crash on level 2. Kind of sucks that it doesn't go any further than level 2, and I would like to see if they will finally fix that. But anyways, we'll take a 360 view of the figure, and it looks really nice. There is obviously some kibble here and there, especially in the back of the legs and so on. But unlike the other figures in a while, he doesn't have as much kibble, and that's kind of surprising, actually, since these are more simplified designs, and because of that, sometimes the kibble does get in the way. And unlike Strong Arm, which I personally thought was the stronger of the figure between Steeljaw and Strong Arm there, I actually think this Bumblebee is actually the better of them altogether, as mentioned earlier. But anyways, we'll take a quick look at the articulation points. His arms can go on a 360 movement, thanks to it being on a ball joint. Can go up and down and kind of bend in this position due to transformation. His arms can swivel, but not 360 per se. Well, actually this way it is, but this way it gets kind of caught, so when he stops about there. Can bend at a 90 degrees, and that's about it for his arms. His head is on the ball joint, so allows full movement, but it's really tight, and it goes left and right and up and down a bit. So it's a really tight joint. And the good part is he actually has waist articulation due to transformation. His legs also on ball joints, so allows full movement outward. Can bend forward and back. Bend at the knee. Can swivel as well. And his feet can pivot as well due to transformation. So he's got a pretty good wide range of motion. Now, to transform Bumblebee, what you're going to do is this. It's a very simple transformation, and it actually reminds you of the first Camaro. Well, yeah, the first version of Bumblebee from the movie line, and I'll show you exactly what I mean in a minute. First, you got to turn this around, so making sure that the hood of the car, or the roof of the car, faces towards the front there. Now we're going to close up this piece here, so now it has completely hides his head. You're going to take the feet and bend them down, so now it comes to the front of the car. Make sure that these are aligned and peg them together, so that it keeps them together in place. Then you're going to bend this back. Put this together and bend this back. So now you got almost him fully transformed. So he's really simple, and I really like that he's got a lot of design transformation cues as well, not just overall design. Anyways, what you're going to do is push these inward, and the hand's going to cover this little piece inside there on both sides. So once you get that properly together, it should look like this. And now what you're going to do is take the back wing pieces. You're going to make sure that they are a bit flat so it allows them to go in. You're going to bend them inside, and they're going to peg into a piece there. And once you get that done, if this piece will allow me to actually put it in, okay, there, you'll have Bumblebee fully in his vehicle mode. I'll be back to show you a good look. I'm really impressed with the vehicle mode design they chose for Bumblebee. As mentioned earlier, it does have a very Viacon-esque type of design from Transformers Prime. There is a bit of a kibble on the bottom, but that's something to be expected in Transformers. You can see the Autobot logo here, and I haven't tried it, but it might be able to scan it in vehicle mode, but I'm not too sure. The wheels can roll okay, I guess. For some reason, this one's having a little problem rolling, but it shouldn't have too much problems rolling. And what you can do also is, taking these little pegs here at the bottom, you can just plug the sword in at the bottom of the vehicle, so it looks like that. But for some reason, ever since I did it the first time, for some reason it doesn't like to fit in very well, so it kind of pops off a little too easily, so that is a bit unfortunate of mine. I'm not sure if that's a design problem or just mine has a QC issue. But anyways, it does stay in place okay otherwise, but it is a bit of a letdown that the sword for some reason is no longer pegging in properly. I'll be back to talk about my final thoughts. Now, besides the sword problem being presented in vehicle mode, I still think this Bumblebee is still really awesome overall. I don't really see that many flaws to it besides that. These pieces do stick out a little more than I guess kind of wanted it to, because I wish it had been kind of folded in a little more, but that's about it. There isn't too many problems with this figure overall, except for the fact that he does have a bit of a, I guess, heel issue, since he doesn't have any heels supporting his balance. He does kind of flop backwards a bit, but personally, I don't think that is too much of an issue overall with the figure. And I really enjoy what Hasbro and Takara has done with Bumblebee altogether here. Now, being a Bumblebee figure, it's kind of expected that there's just been so many Bumblebees in the line. It's hard to kind of, recommend a particular Bumblebee or the others, except if it has something else to offer. But I personally think out of all the Bumblebees, he's actually one of the more worth it ones, especially because he's got a very nice, sleek design. He's got a cool weapon. Overall design is really awesome, and I actually really think that even with the dumbed-down transformation, the dumbed-down design, I don't think they hit Bumblebee too hard with that one. So, yeah, I'm really impressed with Bumblebee overall, and I highly recommend it. I got this Bumblebee at Target when, a little bit after the first Toys R Us runs. I did initially see it at Toys R Us, but I decided to wait until later to get him, since, well, it's Bumblebee, it's going to be sitting around, even if it's a good Bumblebee in a sense. So, eventually I decided to just go ahead and pick it up, and I haven't regretted it since. Anyways, please check out Hirotaku. Also check out Rajio Nihon and the Associated Podcast, WRW, Hirotaku Hero News. Please comment, subscribe, and I'll see you on YouTube. Bye.